This is Dan Carnahan. This is vlog number 3, and those of you with hardcore calendar algorithms will notice that more than one day has passed. It's been a busy Thanksgiving week, and I've been working hard on a few of my projects that are I feel that are most urgently needed by myself and my family, and for others that I think that'll be a great help. So last time I said that on this time I would list the various projects that I'm working on and what they're about very briefly, and why am I working on those. So first off is an e-commerce site that I started 10 years ago called Skipper Dan. I'm selling marine products, safety, navigation, and things like that on that. And the reason why I chose that is because, as I've said in other places, I love sailing, I love boats, be on the water, and I just want to be in the community, helpful in any way that I can. And this is a pretty fun way of being of help to many people that I can. Now, I have rewritten my website, and I'm only about halfway done, and I have so many things going. I haven't really made the progress that I wanted on that, but it works. It's ugly, but the basic functionality of having various products, being able to search for them and be able to order those, that works. And as I can, I will enhance it to make it look a little prettier. But it's very interesting. Real quick on that, I used to price all the items at 8% over cost, and at that I got quite a few customers long ago when I was doing that. And at the strong advice of those that I have been following, especially Dan Kennedy, suggests that I increase the prices up to list and be of help to my customers in a different way other than simply selling them stuff. So I've done that, and I've finally am starting to make some sales. And earlier today I put together a lot of videos which I will integrate into the website, explaining who I am and why it is a good idea for them to purchase from me, even at list price, rather than the cut rate discount prices that they could pay at the large marine suppliers. Mainly that I can give them personal service, make sure that their orders go well, and do everything that I can personally so that they have a good experience in acquiring the resources that they need and to get back out on the water or navigation, whatever they want to do. Anyway, so that's the Skipper Dan website, skipperdan.com. The next one is lack of a better word, a photo and video storage, but it's not just storage. I put it together so that I can share, and anybody else who wants to use the service, all of the photos that I've taken. Very often at a family function, I'll take 50, 100, 200, even 300 photos. And with this, I'm able to share them. And also with this, my parents can see them if they sit down to a computer, of course. And I'm also working on a way that it will make the photos and videos available to them, maybe on their TV. That would be wonderful. We'll see. It's very exciting, and I'm hoping to be able to roll that out for the family very soon. I have there are several of my brother-in-laws and sister-in-laws and stuff who have said as soon as I have it ready, they want to start using it. So I'm hurrying. That's what I've been putting a lot of my work in this past week. Also, I have written a service for Boy Scout troops. It's to hold all of the data for all of the scouts and all of the activities and their rank advancements, things like that, on a database, web accessed, and one where any of the scouts, any of their parents, and any of the adult volunteers have access to that. I wrote that several years ago. It's still in continuous use by the troop that I'm involved with. And it's of great use to them. They're able to send out email blasts to everybody, all of the scouts and their parents that have signed up for various activities. Anyway, it's has been very useful. But as you're going to see, everything that I put together, I've slapped it together because I needed the functionality right away, and have come back as I can to make them prettier. So they start out ugly, but they work. And then eventually I'll make them pretty to work with as well. Another project I'm working on has, I've mentioned before, I think, I used to own a hobby store several years ago, about 10 years ago almost, and it was in the at the wrong time with the recession. I had to close down, and I still have a quarter of the inventory, which I am intending to finally sell or somehow donate it or what. And I put together a website to at least have all of the products, all the inventory available for anybody to see. That website is called hobbyunderground.com. That's also not yet working completely, working on it. Next one, I wrote an accounting program, also database, online, web-based. I have been using, I used Quicken for a decade, and then I used QuickBooks for a decade, and then decided I needed something that I have access to the underlying data structures, and something that especially that I can use for multiple family members. Again, you see that there's a theme there. This is I am taking care of or helping out other family members with their bookkeeping or accounting in some ways, and this system makes it possible for me to access the accounting data from any place that I am, and for them to have access, and for me to have simultaneous access, so that I can be on the phone with them and they can put in something and I can see right away whether they've coded the transaction correctly, for instance. So eventually I'll make this available to a wider customer base, if we call that, those who have a need to have multiple people have simultaneous access to the bookkeeping. It's not a fully functioning accounting system. It doesn't have all of the reporting that a proper accounting program has. However, it does have a full, completely capable bookkeeping and the basic reporting that you would expect out of an accounting program. So, so also I want to say that with any of the transactions, I'm able to attach any number of files, especially like invoices, check images, deposit receipts, or other purchase receipts, things like that, to any transaction. And it has become very handy whenever there's a question about a transaction. I can pull up that I can find it immediately, pull it up, show the canceled check, and then that answers the question from the position, from the example that I had several months ago. All right, next. As you may know, I love sailing. During this past sailing season, during this past summer, I worked out the technology to be able to do live streaming from my boat during a race, and I did so for about half a dozen times. And in addition, I worked out a way to be able to take photos from the boat and have them upload from the boat to my server, and then have them play on a monitor in the yacht club, all in real time. Play as a playlist. That works. So, and I also set that up for one of our big races that we had toward the end of the sailing season, here in San Francisco Bay called the Jazz Cup. That's not the hat. And I had that working for that event, which we had over 100 sailboats, and it worked pretty well. So I'm pretty happy about that so far. I've got a ways to go. That is part of a larger idea that I have about helping yacht clubs organize regattas. There are several pretty good websites that are for the purpose to help yacht clubs to organize their sailboat races. They provide the basic functionality. Some are pretty simple, and they do exactly what they want to do. It's just to help the club organize. Others do a little bit more, provide a little bit of communication between a skipper and desired crew a little bit. But they all that I've looked at lack they lack pizzazz or jazz. Or what I want to do is enhance the online presence that a particular regatta event might have. In addition to being able to sign up skippers and crews in an event, but also provide a place where anybody having anything to do with that will also be able to have a presence there as a service to everybody involved, and also as an outlet for them to express their creativity, or even e-commerce. For instance, in a web page that would be created by an event, say a yacht club says, we want to put on an event. They sign up in this website, and it creates an event page for that. In addition to signing up the skippers, anybody who takes photos or videos would be able to upload them into that space. Anybody providing merchandise can provide those as an e-commerce right in that same event page. So I said photos, so anybody taking photos, amateurs, could upload them to share with everybody. I can provide watermarks, and if they decide that they would like to sell them, they could do that. Professional photographers already have their own websites, but if they see that everybody is looking at this event page already, they may want to also have a presence there, and I can do that for them. So also anybody else having to do with the event could have a presence there, providing transportation, food services like restaurants or catering, hoteling, or other kind of lodging. They all can participate in that. So that's my idea. Okay, another thing I'm working on. I have a whole bunch of art in my garage. I have a large inventory of what used to be an art auction business that my father had many years ago, and eventually, after I find a new place for all of the hobby stuff, then I can get to the art and be able to start selling that. So that includes many thousands of copies of limited edition lithographs and some original paintings. And many of the lithographs are, as I said, limited edition. They're also signed. So some of it, a lot of it is pretty good. Some of it is okay. Some of it is very nice. So we'll see when we get to that. So that's, I guess that covers all of the technology-based projects that I'm working on. Obviously, you saw my last one, I was outside of my boat, so also sailing. Right now it's the end of November in the winter time, so my boat is up on the trailer for the winter. And when the rains finish, I will start painting it. But it takes a lot of time. I like it. So I'll talk about that later. So anyway, thank you for watching. In my next issue, I will go into more depth about what I'm trying to accomplish with each one. I know I kind of rattled on with this one, and some of my thoughts about going into business. So thank you, and I'll see you at the next time. Bye.